What's happening, campers and campettes? Do you like the Coleman? The Coleman's the brand I love. The sunshine of the night. And I know they kind of, in recent years, have slapped their name on everything. Not the greatest move. Maybe it is for like a quick dollar here, but right? When you're trying to create like brand ambassadors, people who live and breathe, right? Like I'm a Chevy guy, I'm a Steel guy, I'm a John Deere guy, and I'm a Coleman guy. So maybe stop putting your logo on all kinds of junk. But there is a few things that hold absolutely true with a Coleman, and that's their lanterns, their stoves not gonna say the year, but you know what I'm talking about. If your stove's got a pancake griddle on it and a heating element and a rotisserie, that's not a Coleman stove anymore. Son, you brought yourself a barbecue to the campsite. And I like camping. I like truck camping and car camping and hike camping and canoe camping. And those aren't camping. Those actually, as I realize it, are methods of travel. And I love to cook over an open fire, and I'm going camping this week. So I'm gonna do that. But I don't wanna have to build a fire to make a cup of coffee, bro. Or if I want to have a little bit of refinement because maybe I'm making rice. You know, maybe I'm boiling, any number of things. Any number of things I could be doing where I want a bit of refinement with the flame. I need a Coleman stove. Yeehaw! One of my favorite Coleman stoves, 5430. Look at this guy. He's got two little eyes there. Is that right? Huh? How are you, bud? So, this is Stovey. Hey everyone, say hi to Stovey.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Some of you might be like, you know, if super sleuths. Jay, you just did a video on a Coleman stove. No, yeah, a little bit, kinda. But what happened is I did a video on getting a cooler going and getting the stove up and running, cleaned all up, because the youngest was going camping. Well, now I'm going camping, heading out this week. And while Mother Nature has thrown just nothing but rain at us and put a damper on the plans for building a boat shed out in the woods, it doesn't mean the work stops. Huh? Mother Nature's like,
ha, Jay can't work, I rule, I put a little stop in his day.
No, you didn't, because I can adapt. I'm like, you know, like I'm adaptable. So you just raining for yourself. In fact, joke's on you, I love the sound of rain on a tin roof, and I haven't slept better than I have in the past 2 days. But I thought to myself, going camping, gonna bring along my 5430. And a month ago, I cleaned it all up. I took it all apart, the burners, and stacked them all back together beautiful, and it didn't change the flame. It doesn't always work out in your favor, you know? And about 3 weeks ago, a user, a subscriber, I hope, Sean Dwyer 3598 says to me, hey, Jay, I had the same thing happen to me. And what I did was, and this isn't gonna make a lot of sense, but I cleaned out the valves and everything. And I'm like, listen, Sean Dwyer 3598, it doesn't make sense. But it kind of does, because there's not very many components in this stove. There's not a lot to these stoves. And that's the beauty of the old Coleman stuff, right? And I hate to think that this is old, because you know those people, and I'm one of them, who say 30 years ago was the 70s? Yeah. 30 years ago, I'd already owned this stove for a few years. So I guess it is an old stove by manufacturing standards of today. So we're gonna take it apart, we're gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna take apart the burners again, so if this is your first time watching the channel, please hit that subscribe button, because I'm trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. 1,000 subscribers. Make this my full-time job. But no, seriously, come on. I'm being serious with you. Let's, you know, it's a community of love here. Let's get it going. We just hit the 600 subscriber mark. I was like, what? Anyway, we're having lots of fun in the woods. So we're gonna do this stove, then we're gonna go camping, and we're gonna get back to the woodshed. We got some quadding, some paddling, some boating, some fishing, all kinds of shenanigans going on, bro. 5430. Let me show you what's going on here. So this is my favorite stove. I have a couple of others that are the oldie olders. Whoop. The oldie olders, right? But I just love this setup. It's so simple. I don't mind carrying these around in the quad or in a boat. You know, I don't always like going around with white gas. I just, you know, because of the whole you might die thing. That stuff is volatile. You see what I'm dealing with? The issue, obviously, is that something's going on. This one's operating pretty good. The left burner's operating pretty good. A lot like the burner on a gas stove, right? All the little fins that are in there are doing whatever they do. I'm sure there's something to do with air and gas. And, you know, you can see a ribbon of flame coming out, and it's adjustable. Whereas the right burner thinks it's the Olympic torch. You can make it a big torch or a little torch, but that's not what I'm trying to do here, you know? And you can see the discoloration on it because this has been going on for a while. Let's be honest with each other, eh? I'm trying to be honest with you. Got myself a little papier towel. Because we're gonna wait a few minutes because that's really hot. Oopsie. So that's the grill. Ain't no thing but a chicken wing. We take off our burners. Now we don't have to do this. I just want to show you. Actually we do, because I got to get in there. We got a big screw, and then we've got a series of what do you call there? Corrugated pieces and flat pieces. You see how one's flat, one's corrugated? And there's a stack of them underneath the bottom and the top shields, which kind of looks like a UFO. And that's pretty cool. Commander Fravor was talking about the Tic Tac for quite a while. So it might have just been one of these. Someone was watching this and they were like,
holy friggin' UAP, eh?
So that's it. That's the burner. That's the burner. Nothing to it. I cleaned that out last time, so we're good. Here's the inside of the stove. Nothing too terrifying. It's basically just a shell with a couple of tubes. That's it, man. So this regulator plugs into the side, lets your propane come in. You adjust it with your knobs there. Flames get lit, they go through the burners, and you make delicious ramen or coffee or a can of chili. Don't buy cans of chili. Just make chili. It's not hard to do. So in order to get these out, I'm gonna pull these knobs off. And I don't know if you can tell, but there's a couple of wee little screws in here. Now, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just, it's Coleman. If it's a bolt, it's probably gonna unbolt. That's all. Now these guys, they're still in there. So the only thing I know of other spots and screws, look. What we got here? Got a couple of knobs on the bottom of the stove. Okay, so we got those off. Look at this. Look at this. You ever see something like that? It's not a how-to channel, but you can't buy parts for this stuff anymore. And really that's it. I just took apart the entire stove. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, a couple of lock washers, and then whatever these are, valve bolts. I don't know the name for them.
It's not a how-to channel.
We got, I guess, our regulator, our valves.
It's not a how-to channel.
I don't know, you gas guys would know something about this. And I got a barbecue brush. So I'm gonna mess with it. They're pretty rusty. So if you get a bit of the wood Fordo, maybe we can clean them up a bit. Yeah. It's old, but it's served me so well. And like I've got a Coleman lantern that was Miss Lady's dad's that he gave to me. He's done with camping, so he gave me some of his gear. I've got his dad's Coleman stove. These things were built to take it. I mean, and also just simple, right? Just simple construction. Holy cow. So you could see that I could spend the better part of the day cleaning this. But you know what? Last time I cleaned 20, 30 years worth of junk out of the stove, so now we'll tidy this up a bit and I'll take a look. I don't know, man. Somebody said Coca-Cola once about soaking stuff. Maybe, you know, if we're bored in the fall or the winter, I'll take this apart and I'll soak these pipes. I'll look into it a little bit more and see. But like, that's pretty clean. My main concern here is gonna be airflow. You see there's a little hole, a hole here, hole here, hole here. Kind of like a corn cob pipe. How you doing? A fine looking barn. I'm gonna plug this hole, put my hand here. I can get air out of that. It doesn't taste good. Probably should have done that before I wood Fordo'd it. And this one's also got a hole. So, okay. So, other than the fact that thems are kind of dirty, we're okay. I don't know if the fact that they're possibly rusty on the inside might also be impacting the gas, but we'll see. So you should be able to take these out. This is brass, so I don't want to put any undue strain on it. Let me get some pliers. These are jets.
It's not a how-to channel.
When you're a jet, you're a jet. There's a little bit of tarnishing here. I don't know if that shows up. And we've got the jet itself. And I'm taking a minute here to examine these little seals. I don't know what I'd do if they were worn or cracked, but they're looking fine to me. Got this little seal here. There's another seal. Rubber jobby. It's not worn, it's not cracked. It looks good. So I'm not gonna mess with it. I am gonna get the tiniest bit of a clean on this if I can. Just checking airflow, and all the airflow is beauty. So not going very tight, just a little snug. bought some silicone grease at the Canadian Tire. The Canadian Tire. Hey, look what I found, Americans. You ever see something like this? Dollar bill, y'all. No, this is Canadian Tire money. This is worth 5 cents. Oh, and it's got a serial code. Canadian Tire money was something they gave you based on the value of your purchase, right? So I can't remember what it was. It doesn't say it on here, I don't think. Cash bonus coupons are redeemable in merchandise only. So what they would do, this was before cards and air miles and all that. You purchase something at Canadian Tire and you'd have these. And they came in denominations of 5 cents, 10 cents, 25. The 25-cent ones were purple, I believe. And you'd collect it. And my grandfather had like stacks of this stuff. It's so valuable because you can just go back to Canadian Tire and use it as cash money. Now they just do it with points. You don't get this anymore, but I have lots of it. I just found this one and thought it would be cool to show you. This stuff was so, like, people would buy it on par. So there was places like, if you wanted to go buy some smokes, you could go in and you give them like, 50 cents worth of Canadian Tire money and they'd knock that off the price of your darts. This stuff is gold. Look at this fella here. Huh? Scotsman. Anywho, as I was saying, I was down at the Canadian Tire, the CTC, crappy tire, and I bought myself a little bit of silicone grease. A little bit of silicone grease on the tip of this. Don't need much, I wouldn't imagine. Like, that's probably more than you'd need in a million years. And then we'll just set that back in. And we'll see if that little bit of silicone is going to do the business. There we go. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. You know? I don't know. When I was talking to somebody about doing this, they're like, oh, make sure you get nail polish. And I actually have some for when I was taking off the oil filter so I could set it back to the right spot. But I don't know what the hell they're talking about, so I didn't use it. So that's it, man. Like, that's all I know how to take apart. I've taken apart everything here. Which means let's put it back together and see if anything I've done did anything. Man, I'm gonna have to empty out that garbaggio. Put these little fellas back on.
Ow!
And then, since this is going to be for our regulator, we'll put that through the side of the stove. We'll feed these through the front. And all right. Put this back on. We've got our burners. Now, last time I went through and cleaned each of these out with WD-40. And the most important thing is to put them back the way you found them, which is one corrugated, one solid, one corrugated, one solid. I'll make sure that's just perfect. And then we don't need these anymore for this project. Yeah, I had that upside down. So, smells kind of gassy in here. So, just turning the knob over. Unless, like, this is your job. If you're like, oh, my name's Charlie. They call me Coleman Charlie. They call me Coleman Charlie. And all I do is fix Coleman stoves. Well, if that's the case, Coleman Charlie, then you best know what the hell you're doing. Call me that. They don't call me that, so I don't, you know, I'm allowed to f up. Oh. I'm allowed to make some mistakes. Okay. Not that I don't trust myself, but you know, safety first, bro. Hey! Well, holy cow! Are you freaking kidding me? That's freaking awesome, guys. Look at that. Well. Well, we do have a bit of a problem. Put these little fellas back on. Not sure what's going on here. I told you, I'm not Charlie Coleman. I brought it outside because it was stinking up the garage, something fierce. Left burner's fine, right burner I couldn't turn off. I could turn down, but I couldn't turn off. And when I adjusted like the propane tank, it was actually making things higher and lower. So I brought it out here and then went and did some stuff and thought, hey, you know what? It'll just run its course. It hasn't, it's still going. So I'm gonna try and take the propane off and hopefully not have a kablooey. But I think what's happened is, you remember when I was like looking at the seals and everything? I don't think I put the one seal on the side exactly back flush to the wall, which I would think could be an unseated seal, the reason that everything's leaking. All right, we'll just take it all apart and put it back together again. And then this is how you learn, guys. This is how you learn. You know, this will be my third time taking this apart, putting it back together, but we got the flames going. Well, that's the up, that's the down, that's the left, right, and all around town. I'm having some trouble with this knob. I've got a feeling that maybe I've stripped the plastic inside of it because it's not grabbing and turning the way that one is. And if I flip the knobs around, then the one that doesn't work there doesn't work here. And I'll look into it, and if it is a case of like knobs, maybe I can order them on Amazon or something. I don't know. But that's, hey, that's it. Regardless of the problem with my knob. Regardless of that, we've got the burners fixed. Beautiful, corrugated flat. We've cleaned out the pipes, don't know the names of them. The tubes, we've cleaned the tubes. We've got the valves and everything all cleaned out, reseated with silicone, with some silicone. We've got the regulator on. We've got those little brass knobs on the right side of the stove, and the flame's looking perfect. So, Sean Dwyer, what a hell of a good tip. So, onwards and upwards. But that's it, 5430. Don't be afraid of your stuff. The stove no longer has a torch for me. And I like that. Rain, rain, go away. Come again when we need the rain.